Now it's time to talk about structure. Structure can be a challenging concept when you first get into wine. A lot of people will tell you it's the backbone of the wine, or maybe two sides of a box. Four sides of a box, boxes have four sides. That's all good. I would like to suggest that structure refers to the things that we're going to feel instead of the things that we specifically taste. Remember, we want to get as many senses involved as possible. The first thing we want to assess when we are assessing structure is acid. Now remember, I told you I was going to make sour really simple in a minute. So acidity is usually the culprit when it comes to the sour taste component in wine. It is also something that may make the fruit profile a little bit tartar as opposed to riper. The way to tell if your wine is acidic is simply to take a sip and find if you're salivating or not. Acid's going to make you drool. Now, sometimes people get acid and tannin confused, but they're actually the opposite when it comes to tactile sensation. When you drink something that's tannic, and again, this is going to be mostly red wines because tannins come from the skins as well as the stems and the seeds, and a little bit from oak. Tannin's going to make your mouth dry up. You'll hear the word astringent. Astringent just means a drying sensation. Your tissues are literally contracting when they come into contact with tannin. So we've got acid, we've got tannin. Now, we talked about sweetness already, so we understand that concept. What we're assessing here is the level of sweetness. Like I said, most wine is dry, so that's going to give you a little bit of a running start. Sometimes we use the term bone dry, which means it is so dry there isn't even the thought, the whisper of the term sugar in the room. Off dry is a term that you hear, and off dry is what most civilians would probably refer to as sweet. Many Rieslings, Moscatos that are not specifically dessert wines fall into this category. So if you hear off dry, just know you're going to be tasting sugar. Sometimes you hear dusting, a dusting of residual sugar. That's a little bit different. That's usually a high alcohol wine that was made from grapes so ripe that the yeast actually couldn't properly finish the job. And even though it resulted in a high alcohol wine, there's still just a little bit of sugar left because they couldn't do it. They were overcome. Some Alsatian wines fall into this category, also Amarones. Now, a truly sweet or lusciously sweet wine is a dessert wine. It could be fortified, it could be late harvest, it could be an ice wine, or it could have been made in an appassamento style, which just means we dry out the grapes to really concentrate